I wanted to have a chance to talk to you because we had the resilience budget yesterday. It was a very major package. I wanted to give you my take on the situation and why we did this and what lies ahead. We are in a very grave situation, health-wise with the COVID pandemic, economy-wise with the impact on economies all around the world and on Singapore, and also, therefore, in terms of the cohesion of the society, the confidence, the response which is necessary, it's absolutely crucial for us to hold together, to respond effectively to the immediate challenge, and so also to give people confidence that we can cope with this, we have the resources, we know what we are doing, we're ready for what lies ahead. And what lies ahead is very uncertain, many possibilities which are very worrying. We have to be prepared for them, and we must be ready. If it comes, we're able to respond to them. And that's why yesterday, DPM Heng made the resilience budget, which had $40-something billion, $47 billion, and a $17 billion draw on the reserves with the President's approval. It's unprecedented, but in this situation, it's absolutely necessary. So on the health side, the COVID virus, my analogy is the tide has not turned. We've been fighting, the tide is still coming in. What has changed is that we have put up our dikes, we've held the water out. But the dike leaks. You get bits coming in, people coming home, the virus cuts into Singapore. We have to keep a very vigilant eye on it continuously and make sure that every drop which comes in, we mop it up quickly before a drop becomes a rivulet becomes a stream, then I have a flood, then we are sunk. Why do I say this? Because you can see what's happening around the world. In China, they've had a tremendous outbreak with superhuman effort. They've brought numbers back down to zero. Now they are very, very worried about the virus coming back to them from other countries in the world. You see it outbreak and taking off exponentially in Europe now. Italy, but also Germany, France, Spain, Britain. It's a very grave situation, and they are imposing drastic emergency measures, lockdowns. And Boris Johnson, as Prime Minister, tells his people, my instruction to you is very simple. Just stay at home. Because they've decided that it's not tenable to let it just carry on and burn out. They have to do their best to put the fire out, but it's going to be very hard. You see it in America, taking off now. Now the American numbers, I think, have exceeded or about to exceed the Chinese numbers. And still increasing rapidly in places like New York State or on the West Coast, crisis situation. And so in Chinese they say, 一波未平,一波再起. One wave not settled, the next wave has come. And this is not the last wave, because you look at other countries in the region who are very worried. India is very worried, Russia. Southeast Asia, Malaysians have locked down, the Thais have closed their borders, the Indonesians are also very anxious. This is all around us, and the waves are going to take many, many months and maybe more than a year or two to settle. And we in Singapore, we are sitting watching our dike, trying to keep ourselves safe and preventing any of this from coming in, and I have a situation which goes out of control. So I'm in this for a very long time to come, and to sustain this, I need everybody's cooperation, safe distancing, personal hygiene, cooperation when we are contact tracing, and discipline when people come back, stay home notification, stay home. And that way, we slow the spread of the virus. If you have a spot pop up, we have a good chance to mop it up before it gets out of control, and then we have a public health disaster. So I think the healthcare part is a very big problem. The economy part is also an unprecedented problem because it's so disruptive. Production has stopped in the countries which are locked down, so our supplies can't come in. I went to my market last weekend on Teki and chatted with the tropical fish shop who's been there donkey's years. And she says she has a problem. She can't get her supplies. Supplies come from Malaysia, and Malaysia is locked down. Tropical fish, not an essential item. How does she get her business going? That's just a small example. People are not moving. The goods are still flowing but impacted. But the economies are drastically down. America this week, their unemployment, people applying for unemployment benefits. Usually they have a couple of 100,000. This week they had 3 million people applying for unemployment benefits. So all around the world it's happening. That hits us. And in Singapore, it hits us particularly hard because we are so dependent on trade, and our industries like aviation, like tourism, travel, hotel, they are business has gone to zero. SIA's business is had gone down to 96%, by 96%. So it's come to a halt. So this is not going to go away in a hurry because we are protecting our borders until everything calms down. Other countries are doing that. In fact, China, having brought their cases down to zero, have now, instead of relaxing controls on their borders, have now put up more stringent border protections around themselves because they are dead scared of the COVID-19 coming back into China. And that's all going to affect the aviation industry as well as globalized economies like Singapore. And it's going to last quite a long time. It's not a V-shaped down dip. It's not a U-shaped dip. It's come down. If you're lucky, you can sustain it at a diminished level for quite a long time. If you're not lucky, it will keep on going down, and some pieces are going to have a lot of difficulty just staying in existence. So the economic challenge is very grave, and therefore in this situation we must be quite clear, people must be quite clear that we are doing all we can to help them to stabilize the economy, to preserve jobs, to help companies stay in business, reduce their costs, to help the key industries which are drastically hit, like aviation, to stay able to continue in a sort of semi-suspended animation, but able to come back to life when the opportunities come. And whatever it takes to do that, we will do that. And that's how we came up with a package yesterday, very drastic wage support scheme, help for the self-employed, the gig economy, help for the companies, help for the households. In fact, we tripled the household package, support and assistance package. But we want to see people through this. And we're under no illusions that this is the end of the story because nobody can tell what lies ahead. In February, when we made the budget, we knew it would not be the last word, but we thought that it would buy us a few months, and then we would have some time to assess the situation, and we would be down the road. We will do more and put together the next package, and then see us through the next stage. But we did not expect within 1 month the picture was totally changed. The health picture was totally changed. The economic picture was totally changed. And therefore the policy response, the action from the Singapore government had to be totally changed. And so within 1 month we have a supplementary budget which for these pieces 4, 5, 6 times bigger than the original February budget. But it's necessary, and we have the dry powder. If we need to do more, when we need to do more, we will do that down the road. But even then, there will be uncertainty, there will be pain, there will be job losses, There will be cases of the COVID-19, and I'm sure along the way, as time passes, there will be further people who will not survive and will succumb to the disease. We have to expect that. There will be ups and downs. And therefore, it's critical that we go into this eyes open, strong leadership, good government, united and determined to see this through. So that's what I explained to the President, but I didn't really have to say it in all that detail because the President is reading the newspapers and reading the cabinet papers, and she knows and she has her own feel for what is the situation. So when we made the case to her, she understood and she supported what we are doing. And that's what she said when, in her letter to Parliament, which the Speaker read out yesterday.